she said. I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't owe you explanations. This was right after she told me she was staying at her ex's house. Cool. I let her prove her strength by leaving her. My name's Henry. I'm 32, and until a few months ago, I was engaged to a woman named Evelyn. We were together for nearly 4 years. We met like a lot of people do these days, on a dating app. Things felt easy with her. We clicked. Similar interests, both worked decent jobs, had similar plans for the future, or at least, I thought we did. Our relationship wasn't perfect. Whose is? But for the most part, we laughed a lot, supported each other, and talked about building a life together. A house, maybe a couple of kids down the line. I wasn't expecting perfect. I was expecting commitment. Things started to shift about 8 months before all this happened. Evelyn started mentioning her ex, Daniel, more frequently. At first, it was casual. Stuff like, oh, Daniel used to have that same car, or Daniel was always bad with directions. Innocent enough, until it wasn't. I brought it up once, jokingly. Man, Daniel's getting a lot of airtime lately. She brushed it off. Relax, it's just conversation. You're being weird. Maybe I was overthinking. I let it go. Then it turned into actual meetups. She told me she and Daniel were still good friends and had mutual friends in common. I wasn't thrilled about it, but I also didn't want to be the controlling fiancé. Trust, right? That's what relationships are built on. A few weeks later, things escalated. One Friday evening, she casually dropped it during dinner. Hey, just so you know, I'm staying at Daniel's this weekend. I blinked. You're what? Yeah, she said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. It's just easier. We're going hiking Saturday morning with some friends. His place is closer. I tried to stay calm. You're staying at your ex's house? She didn't even flinch. Henry, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't owe you explanations. I sat there, quietly staring at her, processing. The woman I planned to marry, telling me this with zero shame, zero compromise. You realize how insane that sounds, right? I asked. She leaned back. If you have such a problem with it, maybe that's your issue. I'm not doing anything wrong. That night, I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. But I made a decision. If she wanted to show me how independent she was, fine. She could do it without me. See, Evelyn and I had built a lot together. We signed a lease on a townhome under my name. I covered most of the rent because I made more, but she contributed a fair share. We also shared a joint savings account we'd opened after getting engaged, for the wedding, for the honeymoon, for future plans. Plans that clearly meant a lot more to me than they did to her. When she left Friday evening with her overnight bag, saying, "Don't wait up," I got to work. Quietly, methodically. First, I logged into the bank account and transferred my portion, what I had put in, back into my personal savings. Not a dime of hers. Just mine. Clean and fair. Then, I went over the lease terms. I called the landlord and let him know my fiancé wouldn't be living there anymore. Since the lease was under my name only, I had that right. He was understanding, even offered to send someone to change the locks by Monday. Lastly, I packed all her belongings into boxes. Labeled them neatly. Clothes, kitchen stuff, bathroom stuff, random junk drawer stuff. I stacked them by the door. By Sunday night, I was sitting on the couch watching the game when I heard her key jam in the lock, then stop. She tried again. Nothing. A sharp knock followed. Henry, what's going on? I opened the door just a crack. Hey, looks like you're back. She looked down at the boxes, then back at me. What is this? I kept my voice steady. You're a strong, independent woman. You said it yourself. So, you don't need to live here anymore. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out at first. You're serious? Dead serious. She stood there, frozen for a few seconds. Processing. Trying to figure out whether to yell, cry, or talk her way out of it. And that's where it started. Evelyn stood there, shifting between disbelief and anger. Her voice finally broke through. You're seriously kicking me out? Over nothing? This is insane, Henry. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Over nothing? You told me you were spending the weekend at your ex's place, and followed it up with, I don't owe you explanations. So yeah, if you don't owe me explanations, then I don't owe you a roof. She blinked. It wasn't like that. You're twisting things. Am I? I gestured toward the boxes. Your stuff's all here. Nothing's damaged. You're free to take it. But you're not staying here anymore. Her voice shifted, softer now, calculated. Henry, come on. Let's not do this. We're engaged. We've built so much together. This isn't how adults handle problems. I kept my tone calm. You're right. Adults communicate. Adults don't crash at their ex's house behind their fiancé's back and then claim it's none of their business. She sighed. It wasn't behind your back. I told you, Evelyn, that doesn't make it better. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Cars passed by on the street behind her. A dog barked in the distance. She looked at the boxes like maybe they'd disappear if she stared long enough. Then the shift happened, desperation. Where am I supposed to go, Henry? I didn't plan for this. I shrugged. Daniel's house, I guess. That seemed to be a perfectly fine option 2 days ago. Her jaw clenched. That's cruel. No, I said, keeping my voice even. What's cruel is forcing your partner into a corner where they either accept blatant disrespect or get labeled as controlling. I'm not playing that game. She stood there longer than I expected, probably hoping I'd cave. But I didn't. I stepped back, gave her one final nod, and said, I'll give you some time to grab your stuff. Just lock up when you're done. The keys won't work by morning. Then I closed the door. For a minute, I stood on the other side, listening. No yelling, no banging, just silence. After a few minutes, I heard her start moving the boxes, one by one, loading them into her car. The next few days were quiet. Too quiet. No texts, no calls, not even a passive-aggressive Instagram post. Honestly, I expected fireworks. But instead, radio silence. Then, midweek, the text started. First, can we please talk? Then a longer one. I realize I handled things badly. I never meant to hurt you. I didn't think it would come to this. Can we meet? I left them on read. I wasn't ready. I needed space. A day later, she showed up at my office during lunch. I spotted her through the glass before she walked in. Hair tied back, no makeup, wearing a hoodie. Evelyn never dressed down like that in public unless something was really wrong. She sat across from me at the cafe, hands wrapped around her coffee like it was some kind of shield. I messed up, she said without me asking. I know I did. I let her talk. Honestly, I was curious what her version of accountability looked like. I shouldn't have dismissed your feelings. I shouldn't have said what I said. But Henry, I swear to God, nothing happened with Daniel. I stayed in his guest room. We didn't even touch. It was just familiar, comfortable. I raised an eyebrow. You're telling me the solution to relationship stress is crashing at an ex's house? She winced. I know how it sounds. I wasn't thinking. I felt like you were suffocating me with all the wedding talk. The finances, the guest list, the planning. I needed space. I sat back. So your version of space was going back to someone you used to sleep with? Her eyes welled up. I didn't cheat. I swear. But I get it. I get why you think this is unforgivable. For a minute, I didn't respond. I watched her try to hold it together. A part of me still cared. How could I not? We were supposed to be building a life together. But there was a louder voice in my head now. A voice saying, if the roles were reversed, what would she have done? She sniffled. Can we at least try? Therapy, counseling, something. I looked down at my coffee. The truth was, I'd already made my decision days ago. I don't think I can trust you anymore, Evelyn, I said quietly. And without trust, there's nothing left. Her face crumpled. So that's it. I stood up, dropped a 20 on the table for my coffee. Yeah, that's it. I walked out without looking back. But as it turns out, this wasn't the end of it. Because what came next? She never saw it coming. 2 weeks went by. No contact. I figured Evelyn had finally accepted it was over. I was wrong. A friend of mine, actually, our mutual friend, shot me a text one evening. Dude, check Evelyn's Facebook. You won't believe this. Against my better judgment, I opened it. Her relationship status was gone. Completely blank. Pictures of us, wiped. But that wasn't the part that hit me. It was the post she made. Sometimes you outgrow people who can't handle a strong, independent woman. On to better things. She really went there. The comments were a mess. Some of her friends hyping her up with, you deserve better, queen. Others subtly asking what happened. She didn't reply to those. I shook my head. Honestly, part of me felt relief. Her true colors were on full display for everyone now. No mask. No pretense. Just her. But the best part? The fallout was just starting. See, remember that joint savings account? I had only withdrawn my share. Fair and clean. But what Evelyn didn't realize was that her half of the wedding deposits, venues, photographer, caterer, those were all in her name. She had insisted on it. It's more convenient, she'd said months ago. I'll handle the bookings. You just handle the rent and bigger stuff. Well, that convenience came back to bite. A week after our final conversation, I started getting calls from vendors. Hi Henry, just confirming. Are we still on for the wedding date? Nope, we're not. Do you want us to issue a refund or? Not my booking. Check the name on the contract. Cue the silence. Every single time. Because they weren't calling me. They were calling her. Non-refundable deposits. Thousands down the drain. Venue? Gone. Photographer? Gone. Catering? Gone. Flowers? Gone. She tried calling me after the first wave of vendor cancellations. I didn't answer. She texted. You could have warned me about the vendors. This is childish, Henry. I replied with one line. Strong, independent women handle their own bookings. No response. A few days later, another message. Henry, I messed up. I didn't realize how badly until now. I thought you were being dramatic, but seeing everything collapse, it made me realize what I lost. You were always solid. Steady. You loved me better than anyone ever has. I thought I needed freedom. I was wrong. I was selfish. I'm sorry. I really am. No blame. No deflection. Just regret. Did it change anything? No. It was too late. I didn't reply. Not to be cruel. Not to be petty. But because closure doesn't always come with a neat little bow. Sometimes, the best revenge is simply living your life, moving forward, without them. It's been about 3 months now. I moved into a new place. Bought a motorcycle, something I always wanted but never pulled the trigger on. I've been spending more time with friends, picked up hiking again, and started dating. Casually, nothing serious yet. But it feels good. Really good. As for Evelyn, I heard through the grapevine that Daniel, the ex she stayed with, ghosted her a couple of weeks after everything blew up. Apparently, whatever comfortable familiarity, they had fizzled fast once real life set in. Life has a funny way of teaching lessons. So, was I too harsh? Should I have handled it differently? Or did Evelyn get exactly what she signed up for? Curious what you all think. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.